All right, Raptors-Warriors Game 6 tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking to avoid elimination, and with the injury to Kevin Durant, they're going to look for a big night out of Demarcus Cousins. Here he is getting ready to speak with the media. We'll head out to him live.
Are you at 100%?
I'm healthy enough to play.
Demarcus, after Game 5, you said that some people don't view basketball players as human beings. How do you still come out and play in front of these people having a record with that?
Same way I've done my entire career. This didn't just happen. Like, it's been an ongoing situation. So I approach it the same way I always approach it.
What do you anticipate the emotions will be like tomorrow, just knowing KD is out and final Oracle?
Well, it'll be an emotional night regardless. Last game in Oracle. So I'm sure the fans will be, fully engaged, and it's going to be a lot of emotions and a lot of...
All right, so a lot of questions surrounding Kevin Durant's MRI results. You're looking live now at Steve Kerr as he addresses the media.
Going on, but we have no news, and we will have, as soon as we have some news on any updates, we'll let you know. Any questions?
Take first question right here on 2.
Sandeep Chanak with Yahoo Sports. Coach, tomorrow's the last game at Oracle, and obviously you guys would like to end it with a win, but regardless of that, what has Oracle meant to you over the years?
This has been just an incredible environment in which to coach and play back in the day, even when the Warriors weren't any good, to come in here as a visitor and feel the energy in this building. You could tell that the fans loved the game, that this was a basketball hotbed, and just the atmosphere out there, the energy, the noise. Over the last 5 years with our team's rise, combined with that organic energy that this place has always had, it's just been an incredible experience to coach here.
What's been your favorite memory from Oracle that you can remember?
My favorite memory was winning the Western Conference Finals in 2015. We beat Houston in Game 5 to advance to the finals, and it was surreal. We weren't sure we were good enough to do it, and the fans hadn't seen anything like that in 40 years. So that was to me when this sort of all started.
Okay, if we can try to hold it to one question, we can get around the room as fast as we can. Tim on the right side.
Steve, Tim Reynolds with the AP. Many times in this series, you've talked about a need for better transition D, better half-court D. What was your assessment of the defense you guys played in Game 5, particularly on the perimeter?
I thought we played pretty well. We can always do better, but our guys competed like crazy. That's the main thing. Toronto's tough to guard because they've got a lot of passers and a lot of shooters. They put you in some difficult spots, but everybody who came in was prepared to play, and they were flying around and rotating. We did everything we could to hang in the game on the road, and we were able to pull it out. So we know that's what it's going to take here as well.
Ann here in the center in the second row.
Hi, Steve. Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. I know we're only supposed to do one question, but I'd love to get a comment from you on the news about Lindsey Gottlieb. Yeah. But also, everyone is looking to point fingers. Bob the other night said, you can blame me on talk radio. It's like, who's to blame for this? What do you think about this whole conversation going on about someone has to be to blame for Kevin getting hurt?
I'll answer the Lindsey question first. Thrilled for Lindsey. Gotten to know her pretty well the last few years. She's visited our practices many times. I'm a transplanted Cal fan since I've had two kids there. So I'm disappointed for Cal that they're losing such a dynamic person and a great coach, but I'm thrilled for Lindsey. What a great opportunity and a great hire by the Cavaliers. She's a wonderful person and a hell of a coach. The second part of the question, I completely understand the world we live in. As Bob mentioned the other night, there's going to be blame, there's going to be finger pointing, and we understand that and we accept that. This is kind of what you sign up for when you get into coaching, general management. in the NBA. There's all kinds of coverage, judgment, criticism, and it's all part of it. So we accept that. The main thing is our concern for Kevin, and these last couple of days just checking on him. Obviously, everybody feels horrible for what happened. We, as Bob mentioned the other night, this last month was a cumulative, collaborative effort in his rehabilitation. And that collaboration included Kevin and his business partner, Rich Kleinman, our medical staff, his own outside opinion, second opinion doctor outside of our organization. And Kevin checked all the boxes, and he was cleared to play by everybody involved. Now, would we go back and do it over again? Damn right. But that's easy to say after the results. When we gathered all the information, our feeling was the worst thing that could happen would be a re-injury of the calf, and that was the advice and the information that we had. And at that point, once Kevin was cleared to play, he was comfortable with that. We were comfortable with that. So the Achilles came as a complete shock. And, I don't know what else to add to that other than had we known that this was a possibility, that this was even in the realm of possibility, there's no way we ever would have allowed Kevin to come back. So it's devastating, mostly for Kevin, obviously, but I feel horribly for Rick as well, Celebrini, who is one of the best people I've ever been around and one of the smartest, brightest minds that I've ever been around. He's devastated. Bob, the team, we all are. But we made the decision collaboratively with all the information that we had, and we thought it was the right one.
Bruce, back left.
Right here, Steve. Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star. After Kevin's injury, you guys came back in that game with big shots from kind of big game players. You're someone who's made shots at the highest levels of pressure in this game and who's coached guys who have made shots, stars and not, at the highest levels of pressure in this game. What does it take as a shooter, as a player, to when the pressure is at its highest, this kind of back nine Sunday at the Masters pressure that this level of the series will provide? What does it take to be able to step into, take, and make those shots?
A willingness to miss and accept the consequences of missing. Until you get to that point, it's going to be tough. So you have to go into it knowing that even if you are the best in the world, you're going to miss half the time. If you can hit half your game-winning shots, that's a hell of a percentage. So, but if you go into it thinking, oh man, I don't want to miss, it's a big situation, then you're defeated already.
Karith, here, right here.
Hi, Steve. Karith Burke, NBC Sports Bay Area. Going back to Lindsey Gottlieb and also Swin Cash getting a front office job with the Pelicans, do you feel like change is happening in the NBA, that women are finding entry points to the league that's reviewing their resumes and recognizing their talent?
Yeah, it does feel that way. Obviously, two big hires in the last few days. I think the women's game has gotten so much better. Last year's WNBA playoffs were so compelling. The Phoenix-Seattle series was incredible basketball. And I just think the talent that we're seeing, the level of play, is probably helping women to gain positions in the men's game. So it's great to see, and I'm really happy for Swin and for Lindsey, of course, and hopefully there'll be many more.
Thank you, Steve. We'll have Curry in here next.
Update from Steve Kerr on Durant's MRI results. Let's head back to Demarcus Cousins.
I mean, it's been ups and downs this entire playoff run. So, obviously we all feel for K. I mean, we feel for, I mean, Klay went through it, I went through it, Loon's gone through it, Dre's gone through it. It's been a lot of ups and downs, like I said. So it sucks to lose, key pieces to the team, but, we just got to find a way to, grind through it and, make something happen.
How do you think you have played in the finals so far?
I'll leave that to y'all.
It's kind of a cliche, but like, is this something that you feel could bring you guys together more?
This team is together regardless, and I mean, obviously we got one more thing to kind of motivate us. Obviously, we want to come out and try to win this thing for K as well. So, I mean, I guess you can say it's another added motivation.
Demarcus, can you account at all for the road success both teams have had the last 4 games with neither team able to hold home court?
Oh, that's pretty weird. It's been pretty weird. It's usually tougher to win on the road, but and usually you kind of play better at home. But that's not really been the case for either team. So, hopefully we change that tomorrow.
What does that say that the fact that the road teams have done so well in this finals? What does it say about the two teams? Is it just that you guys can just block out the crowd noise, or I mean, that's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Usually kind of lean on one another more. Just psychology. Like from a mental aspect, you kind of lean on each other more, and I don't know. It's just a weird situation. It's not really an answer for it, but mentally you definitely lean on each other more on the road. So that's probably the best way for me to put it.
Have you had any contact with KD today or yesterday?
Yeah, I talked to K.
What did he say?
He spoke.
And you spoke about the rehab process, maybe something that you endured yourself in the last year.
It's nowhere near close for that. Like, we spoke. You give him his space. You let him go through his ups and downs of emotions, and obviously you give him his space. And then I feel like I'll reach out when it's the right time, or let him reach out when he feels it's the right time. So.
Demarcus, now they have kind of a year to reflect on that whole journey. What do you kind of just take away from just that whole process?
It's a tough process, just straight up. So nobody will really understand that type of an injury unless you go through it yourself. So it's tough. It's tough.
Is it as taxing mentally as it is physically?
It's more mental than anything.
All right, that was Boogie Cousins' business as usual. Let's check in with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson addressing the media ahead of Game 6.
Is that you guys' first question?
Come on, boss. I got a chair.
All right, Chris, our first question right here on the front on 1. The microphone's coming right over.
Hey guys, Trista Crick, USA Today. I would love to hear from both of you guys whether you actually think momentum is real, and if so, does it carry over from game to game, in your opinion and your experience?
It's definitely a real thing. It's just a matter of can you capitalize on it, once the next game starts, and lock in and focus on details and kind of see the adjustments the other team is going to make, especially in the playoff series, because that happens. They watch film, try to tinker a little bit, but momentum and just confidence in terms of what we're trying to accomplish every possession, every quarter in order to win the game. It's definitely a real thing.
Mark on the left side.
It is for Steph and Klay, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What do you expect the emotions will be like tomorrow, knowing Kevin's out and final game at Oracle?
I expect us to obviously come out and play as hard as we can. We're not even thinking about the future. We're just thinking about enjoying this last show at Oracle. We're about to give our fans then I expect our fans to be the loudest they've ever been, especially in the name of Kevin and, you know, bringing his type of spirit he would bring to the fight and the competitiveness. I know our fans will do that because we deserve it, but more importantly, Kevin does for what he gave this team, this organization. There wouldn't be banners if it wasn't for his presence, so we expect our crowd to be loud for him.
Mark, over here on the left.
For both of you guys, Mark Schwartz, ESPN, I know you're trying to take something from him right now, but during this long series on this stage, what has impressed or blown you away most about Kawhi Leonard?
I mean, he's a gamer. He's shown that he's a Finals MVP back in San Antonio Spurs days for a reason, and he just makes winning plays, and he's obviously expanded his game since then and has shown offensively how dynamic he is. He requires attention at all times, so even really good defense, sometimes he finds a way, but for us, it's just playing the long game, understanding he might have great numbers and whatnot. It's just a matter, can we get the stops that matter? Can we win? Can we win the game? Any way that it takes, and he's just a competitor, and so we respect that for sure. And he's shown that again this entire playoff run that they've had.
The role in The Guardian. Kevin Durant Instagrammed that his soul was hurting after last game. Have you guys had a chance to check in with him? How's he doing? How are you guys doing? And how much are you guys going to be playing for him come tomorrow?
I mean, this first 24 hours is not much you can say in terms of him going through the process, figuring out how the extent of the injury and what the roadmap's going to look like coming back. But I don't think much needs to be said about the motivation that we have or are going to have tomorrow. Like Klay said, to protect our home court, feed off our crowd's energy, play for K, and try to keep our season alive. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can kind of tap into for energy tomorrow. We'll be ready.
Michael in the center.
Michael Grange from Sportsnet. This would be for either of you guys. Coming out of that timeout in Game 5, you each hit huge shots. It's nothing new for either of you in terms of hitting shots in big moments. Did you feel that coming on? Did you think that you guys were about to do something pretty special? And just in the bigger picture, what's it feel like to be stepping into shots like that really matter?
I don't think we anticipated that to happen. We just kind of go out there and play. We're very in tune with each other, being that we've played with each other for years. So when we hit the open man, like Steph doesn't stop moving. That's how he got that curl three. Same with me. Draymond sacrificed his body, set a great screen. So it just comes down to having the chemistry we do with the team and just playing that ball movement type of basketball. And then I'm very on the defensive end, I think, is where we won that game. Just being able, just Draymond and Andre making huge reads to all-world defenders. And then as far as stepping into those shots, we practice those every single day. So, and I know Steph's been doing it for 10 years with this organization, and me 8. So we know what it's like to take those, and we can live with the make or miss. It's just what it comes down to.
Dan, towards the middle.
Guys, also for either of you, Dan Wicke with the Los Angeles Times. Obviously, Kevin won't play the rest of this year, so that means the Death lineup or the Hamptons 5 lineup won't be out there. How important of a tool has that been for you guys since he's gotten here? And what do you think sort of the lasting legacy of that lineup and the way that kind of changed the way teams played? What do you think that'll be?
I don't know much about the second part of that question, but just in terms of when we're healthy and we have all those 5 guys out there, the chemistry is solid because we don't take over each other's spots on the floor, and we all bring something different to the table. And we work off each other really well. There's a trust factor and just a rhythm to it on both ends of the floor. And I think we all just enjoy the pace that we can play with and the speed that we can show. So, it's just one of those things that when you see those 5 guys out there, something good's about to happen. and really you don't know where it's going to come from too. That's the best part about it. And we all enjoy each other's successes. So, yeah, it's a great lineup. Obviously, I don't know the lasting legacy or whatever. Hopefully, there's still more of that to come.
Over on the far right.
Josh Peter with USA Today. Steph, there's some video online showing your parents getting heckled pretty bad outside the team hotel in Toronto. In light of what happened with Aisha, the fan getting arrested for the vulgar comments and some of the aggressive fan behavior, what do you make of what's happened?
I think in terms of being in the finals 5 years in a row and being on the stage, it's hard to avoid those interactions with fans that want to kind of impose or make their imprint on the series somehow, some way, especially with social media these days. So I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest, in terms of people camping outside our hotel just to yell expletives at either us or our family members or whatever the case is. But we handle all that stuff with class and try to ignore it the best we can. And if they get something out of it, so be it. But it doesn't affect us at all in terms of what we're trying to do and how we, carry ourselves, us as team, as players, and people that represent us and our families as well.
And in the front.
Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. For both you guys, you're elite athletes, and there's a lot of talk right now about who's to blame for what happened to Kevin, if the organization pressured him, if he felt pressure from his teammates. I'm just wondering if, Klay, you've recently been injured, Steph, you've been injured in the past. What's your feeling about that kind of conversation about the blame game?
I mean, everybody has great 20/20 hindsight, and it's 24 hours in a day, and there's a lot of different takes you can have on a situation like that. In our cases, and as well as Kay, and knowing him as a person and behind the scenes, we all want to play basketball. Like, if we have an opportunity to play or a chance to play, we want to play, and that's just how it is as competitors, and especially at this stage. So I trust our medical staff and know Bob Myers has our best interest in terms of not just what we can do in this series, but long term and our overall health. So you can see how hard he took it, talking to you guys after the game, and that's really genuine and authentic. So you can waste time talking about the what ifs and this and that. Injuries are tough, and they suck, and they're a part of our game, and they're going to continue to be a part of our game. But everybody, putting their collective, brains together to make the, sound, smart decisions, and you kind of just live with that because that's what's a part of our game.
I agree with Steph.
Scott, and then towards the back.
Scott Osler, San Francisco Chronicle. For both you guys, the Splash Brothers, is that just a corny nickname, or is there something more to that? And also, had Kevin kind of achieved full status in that brotherhood or not?
I guess he didn't win enough Finals MVPs too. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he is above and beyond a Splash Brother with his ability. I don't think me and Steph, we could practice as many jump shots as we want. We still can't rise up and shoot over any man on this earth. So I don't think we need to include him in the Splash Bros to validate his talent and his skill, because it's pretty obvious to the human eye how great of an athlete he is.
Klay's just stingy. He wants that nickname for ourselves. He's not going to be giving that out to anybody.
Last one towards the back.
Jet Lu from the World Journal. Both of you guys, after Kevin's injury, his mother, mentioned the people who question him don't know him. He has a heart of true warrior. In your mind, what kind of person is KD? Why do so many people question him?
That's just the nature of the game these days. It happens to the greatest athletes to ever play. Every athlete at his level has gone through it. whether it's been Kevin, Muhammad Ali, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, who's a baseball players, Wayne Gretzky. They've all been questioned, especially in this day and age with the media and the 24-hour news cycle. There's going to be talking heads talking about his game and whatnot. That just comes with the territory. But we know who he is. We've won championship with him. I've played in international games with him. I've seen him every day in the gym. You don't need to question someone's heart or desire to play when you see their daily work and their resume. This man's won every accolade there is. So for these people to say that, it's really just irresponsible and stupid, because this man's been a basketball prodigy since he was 15, and his skill level is not attained unless you put the work in.
Thanks, guys.